As the rabbi in Fiddler on the Roof says, I say, let's sit down. Sit down. It's not good. Let's sit down. I say, let's sit down.
I know we're a very vibrant community, but I would ask everyone to take their seats, please. You think that's going to work better? Hello, hello. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Is this microphone loud enough that you can hear? Okay, great. My name is Paul Wolfman, and I'm a member of the Board of Governors. This board is distinct, independent, and separate from the Board of Directors. It's made up of all the former presidents of the congregation that are still currently Har Zion members. And I believe if my counting is correct, it's about 13 people. So we've recently undertaken the responsibility to act as ambassadors of the temple. That is, we want to get to know you, your families, your concerns regarding any issues that you may be having or concerns you may be having at any time, at any point in your life cycle with Temple Har Zion. We want to act as an active resource for you, renew existing friendships and make new ones. So we're looking forward to meeting all of you this afternoon. And we hope you will come up and introduce yourselves to us if you don't know us already. It is also our distinct honor to act as sponsor for this afternoon's dedication of the High and Carol Solomon Terrace and Garden. We all, as members of our temple community, want the Solomons to know how much we love them, which we do, and how appreciative we are of their important involvement and generous support of all things Har Zion. This new terrace and garden is but one example of many of the ways in which they enhance our temple life. So as I conclude these brief introductory remarks, I want to introduce you to the Board of Governors members who are present this afternoon. So I would ask all and each of the Board of Governors members who are here today to please rise. Please rise. And I'm going to introduce them, in no alphabetical order from my left to my right. So we have Hillary Lieb, who was very instrumental in the planning of today's events. Thank you, Hillary. Jim Zucker. Howard and Norma Berlin, who are the only couple presidents. And Laurel Salzman. Behind you, acting as your first member to come in the door, with Barb Young. Leonard Grossman. Eric Fogel. Larry Katzovitz. Ed Sachs. And Vafa Shiani. So on behalf of the entire Board of Governors, we're delighted to be ambassadors of the temple and to welcome you to the dedication of the High and Carol Solomon Terrace and Gardens. And now I'll turn it over to Rabbi Glick.
They said to me, Rabbi, can you please stop praying for rain? It only half worked. But this whole process that culminated in this new terrace began with the uprooting of a tree. We had this beautiful tree in our terrace, and a few years ago we had to uproot it, and we began to imagine what to do with that space. So a group of us came together, the Solomons, Julie Geldner, our president, Charles Shapiro, our executive director, and I. And we thought about how do we create a space that expresses our dreams for an inviting and welcoming entranceway to our building, and that reflects where we're headed and where we are, where we can have simchas, where we can have outdoor services, where we can also present ourselves to all those who walk into our building to show that we are vital, that we are here. And so we came together and we started to work on the plan. And the Solomons picked beautiful stones. And Jay Michaels had the great idea of expanding the terrace. And had it not rained, we really could have all fit on the terrace because it's quite big. But I think none of us were prepared for how beautiful it would turn out. And it is truly elegant, it is expansive. And on our very first musical Shabbat on the terrace, someone said to me, this reminds me a little bit of Jerusalem, with the stone, the air, the spirit of being out there and celebrating and praying and singing together and dancing together. So today we're dedicating a new terrace and garden, and we're also marking a moment of renewal for our community and for our congregation, a powerful symbol of renewal. And truly all congregations and all traditions need to be renewed, but that is not easy work. It takes a lot of people and it takes a lot of circumstances to make that happen. But when it does, it brings new vitality, it brings new life, and it reflects the divine process of renewal. As we say every day, that God renews the work of creation. We are so fortunate to have the Solomons, High and Carol, as our partners in this work of renewal. And they are so passionate about this community, and they believe in this work. And I've heard them say so many times, this is a second home for them. This is a second home for them. And so this afternoon is about honoring their commitment in this occasion, but also through many years and decades in this work of renewing our congregation and our traditions, and just bringing everyone together for an opportunity to celebrate older and newer members. And coming out of the pandemic, I think we all see how important community is, how important Jewish life is, to be able to be together and share together. So we uprooted a tree, but we planted many trees in the surrounding garden. And when we picked the plaque and the inscription, which you will soon see, we picked a verse which says, Pri tzadik etz chayim, that the fruit of the righteous is the tree of life. And the tree of life of High and Carol Solomon is very broad and beautiful. And they also, with this act of tzedakah, this wonderfully generous act of tzedakah, are also bringing a new branch to the tree of life of this congregation, one among so many others over the years. And at this moment, with the Board of Governors here, all of our old presidents. And there probably are also many new presidents yet to be revealed among us also, who will lead us in the years ahead through moments of joy, dancing and singing, and through also moments of sadness with open minds and hearts. So let us dedicate our new terrace and garden that's been amply watered by divine rains all day, the Solomon Terrace and Gardens, as a piece of Jerusalem right here in River Forest, marking our renewal as a community, marking the joy of mitzvot, the joy of Torah, the power of community, of Kehillah, and the enduring presence of Jewish life and of our congregation, our commitment to better the world and to the Holy One. And so with tremendous gratitude to the Solomons, I'd like to invite them to come up as we unveil the stone, and we'll show an image of it as we do it. So may we and many generations enjoy this new terrace and gardens. Amen. So now I'd like to ask everyone to please rise for the Sheikh Yanu prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Shechianu, V'kiyamanu, V'higianu, Lazman Hazeh. Amen.
Please be seated.
How do you say thank you for such a magnificent gift? And as a cantor, I go to song to express gratitude and to express so many other things. So I started to think, what song am I going to sing for this occasion? And I thought about all the Hebrew songs I know, quotes from Torah, Psalms, all the things I know. And so the words that I thought were appropriate for today mingled in my head. And the words that I came up with are in a song that I love so much. I think you'll recognize it. It's not in from the Bible, but it was written by a very learned Jewish composer. And I think that you'll recognize the words and see why it's appropriate. There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us. It's right there. Peace and quiet and open air wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us, someday a time for us, time together with time to spare, time to learn, time to care. Someday, somewhere, we'll find a new way of living. We'll find a way of forgiving. Somewhere, there's a place for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Somehow, someday, somewhere.
Thank you, Cantor. That was beautiful. Carol and hi. Today, as we celebrate the dedication of the Solomon Terrace and Gardens, I want to take this opportunity to express how grateful I am for all you have done for our community, for our Har Zion family. Your support and dedication to the success and the well-being of Har Zion is truly overwhelming. You have ensured by your generosity that our temple continues to be a warm and welcoming place to gather, to pray, to schmooze with old friends, and make new ones. Also, thanks to you, it will continue to be a cool place due to your generosity, of course, in helping us replace our air conditioning system. Your donations and commitment for the betterment of Har Zion are just absolutely too numerous to list. On behalf of the executive committee and the board of directors and the entire congregation, we cannot begin to thank you enough. I'd like to welcome Carol to the podium.
It is wonderful to see so many of our friends and family here today. I truly am overwhelmed. I believe when giving a gift, if it comes from the heart with the right intention, the gifter gets more joy than the receiver. This has been the case for Hai and me when it comes to this project. Every time we enter the building, we smile. We are so proud that this will be part of our legacy and will be here for future generations to enjoy. Now I would like to give my version of the story of the terrace, which is pretty much the same as the rabbi's, but with my own take. About a year ago, the rabbi, the cantor, Julianne, Jay, Charles, Hai, and I were taking a tour of the building. Even though our main focus at that time was the air conditioner, we could not ignore the condition of the entrance. The old patio had a dead tree in the middle, surrounded by a pile of dirt and many cracked and broken patio blocks. They say that first impressions are very important. This is the first thing visitors and members saw when they entered the building. It got put on a wish list of future projects, but as usual, funding was not there, particularly with the air conditioning project still on the books. It might have remained on that list if it were not for the coincidence that happened next. Our neighbor at our lake house was getting a new patio. We were impressed by the job, so I went over and asked the main worker a few questions. His name, by the way, was Jesus. Will you come to River Forest? Yes. Could you start this summer? Yes. Can it be done before high holidays? Yes. Will you give us a very good price? Yes. Since the only remaining obstacle was the financing, Hai and I decided we wanted to complete the final link and make it happen. Everything moved along very quickly. The permit, no problem. Unlike today, the weather cooperated. Jesus, or as I prefer to use the English pronunciation, Jesus, and his crew worked overtime and on Sundays. As they say on Shark Tank, it all got done at lightning speed. Of course, the construction process was noisy, dusty, and rather unpleasant for the staff inside the building. That is with one exception. The preschoolers thought it was great entertainment. They were fascinated and full of questions and very sad when it ended. So here we are. How often do all the pieces just fall into place? Somehow, I would like to think that God really wanted us to get this new terrace. It was almost a miracle. In closing, I would like to thank you all for coming here today to celebrate and for honoring us. Thank you so much to the Board of Governors for sponsoring this event, with special appreciation to Hillary Lieb and Paul Wolfman for handling all the details. As always, thank you to the Rabbi for your encouragement, to the cantor for your suggestions, to Jay Michaels and Charles Shapiro for your daily oversight. And lastly, Julianne Gildner, our president, for your support and enthusiasm. Hi and I have one final request, and it's not for donations. Although donations are always appreciated, right, Ed? Our request is to come to the beautiful musical Shabbats. They are held outside on some Fridays for as long as the weather permits. It is like going to an outdoor concert. After you go one time, you will never want to miss the unique way that West Suburban Temple has to worship and honor God. One last time, thank you all for honoring us.
Thank you. Carol has pretty much said it all. I too would like to thank the Board of Governors for planning and sponsoring this beautiful event, and for all of you for coming and honoring us tonight. And we tonight never forget it. I thank you all.
Good afternoon. My name is Hillary Lieb, and I'm a member of the Board of Governors. I was president of West Suburban Temple Har Zion about 25 years ago. First, I want to thank Kai and Carol for the beautiful terrace and gardens that they have so generously given to West Suburban. We will enjoy the beauty and comfort they provide for many years to come. But I want to thank, like others, thank Kai and Carol for so much more. During Maury's and my 36 years at West Suburban Temple Har Zion, we have seen the myriad of ways the Solomons have supported this special institution. But the most important of these has always been through their presence. And I want to thank you both for the pleasure of working with you on this very special and so well-deserved event. So what are we going to do next? Thank you to Paul, Julie, Rabbi, and the cantor for participating in this dedication. To all the members of the Board of Governors who made this possible through their generosity of time and financial support. To Sheila, Charles, Simon, Jay, Greg, and Declan for their guidance in the planning and execution of today's celebration. Your reassurance that all would be well, despite the increasing probability, I like statistics and I hated these, that the rain throughout the week was increasing. You reassured us that this will all work out just fine. And this is just wonderful and so beautiful. Thank you to each of you for being here with us today. You are now invited to join us in Gottlieb Hall for refreshments and music. I encourage you to speak with one or more of the people wearing a name tag like mine that has a little special shiny button on it that comes from the preschool. We are members of the Board of Governors, past presidents. We would love to hear about your experiences at West Suburban Temple Har Zion and answer questions about ours. This has truly been a second home for all of us, a home that now has a welcoming terrace and garden. Thank you again to Hi and Carol. It's now time to celebrate.
Where do you want to go? This way or this way? No, this way. Be careful.
Julie would like to join. Julie.